All right, this is part 6 of Reality as a Conscious Tuner, and we're going to pick up where we left off with the Metatronic Distortion. The way out is simple, but it requires a choice. You step above the Metatronic lattice, you refuse to play inside its frequencies. You stop feeding fear, lust, and despair, and you start humming from the heart, because the heart is the only organ that naturally steps outside the sideways spread. The heart field moves upward and outward, a torus aligned with the true engine of creation. When your heart and mind unite, the distortion grid can't hold you. The false pentagrams break, the sideways loops dissolve, and suddenly your manifestations don't collapse. They rise, they stabilize. That's why Christos consciousness has always been the target. Not because it's just another religion, but because it's the original template of heart-centered geometry. Christos is the seal that corrects the distortion. Without it, everything collapses back into the sideways spread. With it, your resonance escapes the parasite and locks into the eternal spiral. So if you ever wonder why most people's manifestations don't work, it's not because manifestation isn't real. It's because they've been tricked into playing inside a broken operating system. True manifestation requires stepping out of that grid entirely. You align your resonance with the living pattern, the upward spiral, the Christos seal, and only then does the architecture of infinity unlock for you. This brings us to step 9. If you want to understand manifestation at its deepest level, you have to see it not as some random trick of the mind, but as a machine, a living engine, and that engine is tuned by consciousness itself. Let me explain it simply. Everything begins at the still point, the seed. That's the zero, the silent intention before it takes form. From there, resonance spreads, waves moving outward like the breath of creation. Those waves lock into harmonic geometry, phi spirals, vesicas, toroidal shells. Once geometry is in place, energy collapses into symmetry. That collapse stabilizes into form, and that's how matter itself appears. That's one sequence, but it doesn't stop there. Running alongside is another sequence, what I call the resurrection cycle. First comes collapse, then void, then spiral, then helix, then Christos unity, then the resonance peak, then paradox, and then it all repeats. That's the living cycle of death, rebirth, and ascension echoing through every scale of existence. Both of these sequences, the geometric one and the resurrection one, are not separate. They are two halves of one engine. On their own, they're just mechanics, but when consciousness steps in as the tuner, they merge. That's when reality engine turns on. You are the tuner. Your awareness is the dial. You set the focus. Where your vibration, that determines which harmonics the engine locks onto. If you tune into fear, lust, or despair, the engine still runs. But it collapses into the Metatronic Distortion, sideways loops that feed the parasitic grid. That's why the system loves when you stay unconscious. It hijacks your tuner. But when you step into coherence, heart and mind together, you reprogram the engine back to its original design. You take control of the dial. The resonance waves rise. The spiral stabilizes. The helix lifts. The Christos seal locks into place. Suddenly your whole being is running as the reality engine it was designed to be. You're not waiting for the universe to give you scraps. You are the projector, the screen, and the awareness behind it, generating reality in real time. This is why I call it the reality engine, because manifestation isn't just about thinking positive or visualizing. It's about stepping into your role as the tuner of creation. When you align intention with resonance, geometry, polarity, and paradox, the machine hums in harmony, and in that harmony, reality bends around you. You've always been inside the engine. You've always been tuning it, whether consciously or unconsciously. The only question is, are you tuning into distortion or are you tuning into infinity? Step 10, manifesting in alignment. Everything we've talked about so far can feel big: spirals, toroidal fields, paradox gates, cosmic engines. But the question that comes at the end is always the same. How do I use this? How do I actually make it real in my life? It begins with the breath and the hum. That's the first tool you've always carried. When you hum, you're not just making sound. You're sending a wave through your body, through your field, and into the reality engine. Or the engine of reality, I should say. That wave is your carrier signal. Your intention rides on it. Think of it like a tuning of the dial. If your hum is shaky and distracted, the signal scatters. If it's a steady and clear, the geometry starts to lock in. Next is visualization, but not in the way people usually talk about it. It isn't about daydreaming a car or a house. It's about seeing the geometry. Imagine your intention as a spiral or a torus or even a seed of light. That image gives the wave a structure to crystallize around. Without form, energy just drifts. With geometry, it stabilizes. Then comes coherence. This is where the heart and mind have to work together. If your heart wants one thing, but your mind keeps doubting, the signal cancels itself out. But when the two align, when your heart burns with desire and your mind holds it steady like a lens, that's when the crystal locks in. It's like two tuning forks ringing at the same pitch. The whole field starts resonating in harmony. And finally, there's the ignition point. This is where you let the energy climb until it feels like it's about to burst. Emotion isn't something to suppress here. It's fuel. You let the wave reach peak resonance and then you release it. That's the spark, the ignition, the birth of form. This is what practical manifestation looks like when it's aligned. Breath and tone to start the wave, geometry to shape it, heart and mind to stabilize it, emotional peak to ignite it. When all four line up, the engine runs smooth. And here's the part to never forget. You don't have to force it. You don't have to claw or beg or plead with the universe. You are the tuner. You are the engine. Reality is already listening to you. The only question is whether you're speaking in distortion or in alignment. So now you see, manifestation isn't about wishing for something or trying to bend reality with your will. It's about learning to tune the instrument you already are. The hum is the simplest way to feel it, because when you hum, you're literally vibrating your own field. That vibration carries your intention, shapes itself into geometry, locks when your heart and mind align, and ignites when your emotion gives it fuel. That's the whole process. It's not magic. It's not guesswork. It's resonance. When you tune yourself into alignment, reality has no choice but to mirror it back. And the best part? You can try it right now in your own house. Close your eyes, hum gently, let your awareness ride that vibration, feel it in your chest, set it as a spiral, hold your intention in your heart and mind together, and let the wave climb until it bursts. That's manifestation, not out there, not someday, but here, now, in you. Because the truth is, you were never powerless. You've always been the tuner, the engine, and the field itself. All you're really doing is remembering how to use what was yours all along. Hope you have a great night. Namaste.